Welcome back to Taj's Garden. I'm the gardening realtor. If you're new here, I'm glad you're here, and if you're returning, welcome back. So today I am going to an Amish pickling class. I have decided that this year I'm going to focus on trying new things, and that is one thing that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to take you guys along with me on this journey of trying new things and just putting myself out there. I know you guys have no way of knowing this, but personally I'm an introvert and it's kind of hard for me to get myself out there and like talk to people sometimes. So this is my way of working on that. I invited some of my fellow realtors to come along with me today. I've got my apron and I'm going to grab some gloves. So let's go. So I'm here. It's the Tulsa Garden Center at Woodward Park, and it's happening in the mansion kitchen. So I'm here and I'm excited. So let's go do this.
We're excited.
Yeah, I say to wear. Hey, it's not Berkshire has something that while you're on your way, I said, you look to wear.
So what is your name?
My name's Dill Blank.
How long have you been doing this?
2 weeks. I grew up Amish in Pennsylvania, and my mother, grandmother, great-grandmother always canned. But I was out in the fields or I was out in the barn, I was taking care of the chickens. And so canning was a woman's work, you know, at that time.
Yeah.
And they all had big gardens, so I grew up with it. And it wasn't until I was about 12 years old that I ate processed food, because we always ate out of the basement where I had the cans stored out of the garden. So how long I've been doing this, you know, off and on for at least 2 years.
And so growing up, canning in my world was, it was around, but I was always asked to leave the room because it was dangerous, right? The pressure cooker and stuff, so they were like, all right, kids out of the room. And so I never got to see the magic, right? And so we launched this pickling class with great success last summer. And summertime's a great time for this class because everyone's got cucumbers going crazy. But you can pickle year-round, I've learned. You can can year-round. Anyone can do this. My daughter and I, my 13-year-old daughter and I have taken this, and we now do pickles. With her lead, she leads it. So instead of saying get out of the kitchen, she leads it. So I will stop talking and I will let you all start cooking. Thank you all for being here. You coming and doing this helps us do other classes like this.
At the end of the class, you'll get a syllabus. It'll have the recipes on it. It'll have the procedures on it. It has some of the history on it. So don't think you have to remember everything that I'm blabbing about, because you'll have a syllabus at the end of the class. In the early 1800s, a Frenchman developed the canning technique, and then in 1885, Mason jars. He developed a glass jar with the screw. You've probably seen some of those old pipe jars that have the wire on top and a gasket and a wire cap. Well, those just don't. They seal sometimes, they don't seal sometimes. And so when we basically came out with that, it really expanded the canning technique. And the reason for canning is to preserve food. The refrigeration still wasn't developed. So I grew up Amish in Pennsylvania, and we canned, and you know, great-grandma, grandma, and mom, they all had their gardens, and so they would can all summer long. What we're going to do today, we're going to do water bath, and it's boiling water, and put the jars in, and you'll get to do that, and get to take them out. And this jar lifter is one of the best friends you can have. If you don't have the fancy rack like I do, put your jars in. You can take some aluminum foil, make a coil, a serpentine coil, put it on the bottom, or you can put a towel in there on the bottom. Heat and glass are temperamental. Every now and then I'll have a jar that cracks, has a hole in it, and I'll see pickle floating up on the water. And so what I'm telling you is that you're going to have some boo-boos, you know, and that's just the nature of the game. Now, Sam's, they have the English cucumbers, which are a little bigger than this, and they're $3 for $3, so a dollar a piece. I now go to Western Depot and I buy a bushel of these for $20, which is about a third of the price at Sam's. But one of the things, if you do buy cucumbers, get some that are shrink wrapped. If you get the other kind, they have a food safe wax on it. Really don't want wax in your pickles. And I found out that if I cut the blossom end and the stem end off about 1.5 inch, they contain an enzyme that makes the pickle soft. So if you cut those off, your pickles will be a lot more crunchy. Water bath works well on food that has an acidity of 4.7 or less. Lemon juice has an acidity of like 2.2 to 2.7. Vinegars are anywhere from 3 to 4.2 acidity. The goal is to make food that's shelf stable and generally for a year. But just suggest taking the rings off so that you can tell whether you have a good seal or not. And there are times when jars don't seal after they're in the water bath, and one of the tricks you can do is make sure this is screwed tight and then put them upside down. But they suggest leaving them on the counter for 24 hours to see if they seal. See this lid, that lid has a pop to it, so you know it's not sealed. This one I haven't disturbed it, and so it's solid. But what happens when you put the water to it, when you put it into hot water, is the air rises when it's heated. And so when you put your cucumbers in, you want to just put your lid on here, finger tight. And that allows the air to escape in the hot water. We have a ring, we have a lid, and we have a jar. These have a seal in them. And you don't want to reuse the lids. And wherever you buy your jars, I get mine at Walmart. They're about the cheapest I can find. And I find them to be just fine. But anyhow, when you take the lids off, you might leave the lid on for storage in the refrigerator or something. But before you can again, you throw this sucker away and you put a new lid on. Because from canning, you're going to have some variations in your seal and you won't get your good seal again. Another important thing is anytime you can, you put some towels down on your counters, because you don't want your glass come in contact with a hard surface. Put some little barriers between the hard surface and your jars. Bread butter pickles are like 1 cup of white vinegar and a half a cup about cider vinegar, and then it has a cup of sugar, and then it has your mustard seed, your celery seed, and it doesn't have any salt. And what you do when you salt your cucumbers, and the amounts are on the recipe, and you let them brine. Just salt your cucumbers for about an hour and a half, and then you rinse them thoroughly. And then you can pack them in your jars. Put the liquid in. What you try to do is have the liquid come up about a half an inch from the top. And then we'll use we'll go with this or do with it. I like chopsticks. And you just poke. You can use a kitchen knife, but I don't like to use metal or glass. And then you just poke it and you'll see some air bubbles come out. So you're losing some of the air before you even put them in the hot water. Wipe the lid, wipe the jar, real good so you get a good seal. What you want to do, you want to try and put some flat on the bottom.
Okay.
And then if you have any problem, you can rearrange them a little bit with your chopstick. And then the lids, don't put the lids in the dishwasher because the heat may warp them or you won't get a seal. So what I do, I just put them in warm water with the lids and the rings, and so that works just fine. Just pack 'em.
Oh. Oh.
So that's good. Stir this up.
Okay.
Barely less vinegar. You just pour water.
Change the recipe.
Okay, now I'm supposed to do this, right?
That's exactly what this is all about.
Here.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's pretty good.
Good.
Get about a ½ inch of the top of the jar.
I think that's about right.
Then wipe the top really well. Because you don't want anything sticky and you don't want any of that spice.
A little sticky, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And get a rig.
Okay, got it.
That's okay.
Put it on like that.
Yeah.
Push it down,
Well, you can. It
And
doesn't
then-
matter, just so it's on there.
and then just do this tight.
You don't hold it.
Okay. Don't.
What you want to do,
Okay.
you're going to loosen it. And then you just tighten it like that until the jar moves.
Got it. Okay.
It's finger tight.
Finger tight.
This is enough, right?
How far is it? Is it?
It looks like it's up here, right here.
Okay, just put a dab more in. I think that's all right. Yeah. About a ½ inch from the top. Yeah, wipe it off real good.
How long does it stay in there?
Well, after it comes to a rolling boil, we do it for 10 minutes.
Okay.
And it's not up to a rolling boil yet, so we haven't set the timer.
Okay.
Schedule of our upcoming programs, the syllabus.
Thank you. Well, that was a successful class. I have my 2 pickle jars of Amish pickles, and I think that was an experience. I would definitely do it again. And as always, thank you guys for watching. If you have not already subscribed, please subscribe, hit that notification bell, and if you want to be part of an amazing gardening community on Facebook, head on over to Facebook, type in Prosper and Plant, and I'll see you there.